Uncle Ernesto back for video 3, and we're not using the gravity scraper this time. We're leaving these as display, step 1, 2, and then 3, and I have pre-prepared some other Ernesto seals with some other items, and I have gotten them dried. We're going to go ahead and take our Uncle Ernesto seal, again, seamlessly, and then we'll use that to go ahead and pick up our skull with absolutely no problem at all. There we go, no problem at all. And once we've got the items, we'll bring them over to our art desk and lay them out individually. Individually. And once we've got them laid out individually, we'll go ahead and move them again onto something where we can paint them. Now, this time we will need my extremely old, extremely well cut to pieces dry brush. I will be dry brushing Rub and Buff Gold onto the lettering and the raised edges of each of these items. At first, what I will do is apply it to the brush, and then apply it to the palette, and then continuously apply it to the palette until I have just enough to scrape onto the item. Now, what you see me doing here is warming up the Rub and Buff as it is pigmentation in a carnauba wax, not quite regular paint. It was a fun learning experience. Once it's rightly heated, you can take just a small amount off onto the brush or onto the palette. What I'm doing here is opening the Rub and Buff and then removing the excess from the lid of the Rub and Buff. There will always be excess. I then take a little bit extra and put it onto the palette itself, so I may start the process of getting my brush ready for dry brushing. Now, a very, very small amount of Rub and Buff will go a very long way. So what you see in front of us is more than enough. Now, with medium pressure, we start dabbing into the pigmentation, just filling the brush with as much pigment as possible. We are going to wipe any excess off on the palette right next to it. With this process, we're looking to get just enough paint on the brush using the wiped off paint there, so that with the tips, we may wipe lightly across whatever we are attempting to get the pigment on, and just enough will stay on. Here you'll see me using the flatter end of the brush just to apply the gold to the raised portions of the lettering, and then to the ring around the lettering as well. Reapply pigmentation and then wipe any excess off on the palette anytime you think you may need it, but try and get it on the flatter surfaces of the brush, so you may then wipe it onto the raised surfaces of your print. Now, this is where I'll have to leave you as this continues in part 4, the final part of our video.